January 31, 1993. The Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, is packed for Super Bowl XXXI. Halfway through the game, an audience of over 133 million viewers watches as Michael Jackson bursts upward through the stage floor, landing in a dead freeze under blinding lights. In the middle of the biggest television broadcast of the year, he makes a choice that defies all live entertainment logic. He stands completely silent and entirely motionless for nearly 2 excruciating, electrifying minutes. He looks like a god surveying his kingdom. But to understand the man frozen on that stage, we have to look past the roaring crowd and go back to a place where the music was mandatory and childhood never really began. This is Gary, Indiana. In the late 1950s, a family of 11 squeezes into a tiny 2-bedroom house. It's a cramped, impoverished reality for the deeply religious family. The patriarch, Joe Jarkson, is a crane operator and former boxer who sees his children's musical talent as their one desperate ticket out of poverty. Joe turns the living room into an intense training ground. He enforces grueling, hours-long rehearsals for his sons, sitting nearby with a belt in his hand, ready to punish a missed note or a sloppy step. That relentless pressure yields a highly polished group, the Jackson 5. They win local talent shows, dominate the Apollo Theater, and by 1969, they sign a contract with Motown Records, leaving Gary behind for good. Years later, Michael would openly confess that his youth was traded away. There were no normal birthdays or holiday mornings, only late nights in adult clubs, constant labor, and a professional success that came at a heavy personal price. Moving into the 1980s, Michael breaks out on his own. He pairs his sharp vocals with a command of his body that establishes him as a solo megastar. For the 1983 release of Thriller, Michael enlists director John Landis with a specific ambition: to create a cinematic short film that would move the industry past simple promotional performance clips. That ambition requires a severe physical metamorphosis. He spends hours in a makeup chair, enduring thick foam rubber appliances, latex bladders, and painful contact lenses to transform into a movie monster. The resulting film forces the music industry to treat the medium as high art, officially crowning him the king of pop. But just a few months later, on January 27, 1984, his life trajectory fractures during a Pepsi commercial shoot at the Shrine Auditorium. During the 6th take, the pyrotechnics trigger a fraction of a second too early. Sparks explode directly behind his head, setting his hair ablaze and causing severe second-degree burns. The damage is permanent. The relentless physical pain from the burns on his scalp requires aggressive treatment, initiating a struggle with prescription painkillers that would haunt him for decades. In response to the physical trauma and the pressure of his fame, he retreats to a massive 2,700-acre estate called Neverland. As this map shows, he filled the grounds with a full zoo, an operational train station, and a private carnival. By building this multi-million-dollar retreat, Jackson attempted to physically construct the childhood he had missed. It was a private, isolated sanctuary where the rules of the adult world no longer applied, and he could finally do the playing. Fast forward to the summer of 2009. Following his sudden death, the vibrant grounds of Neverland are left silent and vacant. Instead, the world converges on downtown Los Angeles. On July 7th, the Staples Center becomes the focal point for a global mourning event. The logistical scale of the memorial is staggering. The city spends $1.4 million to seal off highways and deploy 3,000 police officers, the largest security effort since the 1984 Olympics, just to manage the crowds. This graph illustrates the digital weight of the event. Global web traffic spikes violently by 33% as an estimated 2.5 billion people tune in to watch the service. The massive strain on the global internet and the shutdown of a major city reveal how deeply he had become a part of the world's cultural foundation. But inside the arena, away from the global broadcast numbers, the focus returns to a deeply human, vulnerable reality. Standing at the podium, Reverend Al Sharpton addresses Jackson's children directly, in defense of their father's legacy. "Wasn't nothing strange about your daddy," he tells them. "It was strange what your daddy had to deal with." When his daughter Paris steps to the microphone, her grief focuses entirely on the personal relationship between a child and a parent. Between tears, she describes him as the best father she could imagine, a humanizing moment for a global icon. Finally, his golden casket is carried out of the building as an instrumental melody of Man in the Mirror plays softly over the loudspeakers. Underneath the global fame was a man who sacrificed his own youth to create a lifetime of wonder for others. Michael Jackson was a flawed, scarred human whose artistic footprint solidified his status as the greatest entertainer who ever lived.